What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here, back for another BFR. Happy Easter, firstly. And this BFR, Game 75, was against the Nashville Predators on April 16th at 11:30 in the morning yesterday, so pretty early game. News coming into the game, this was Chris Foster's first game as the official head broadcaster of the Chicago Blackhawks. It was game number 1,100 for Kane. His father was in the building. Strome's dog, Dylan Strome's dog, 3 years old, passed away from complications due to a surgery. Sorry about that. So yeah, Dylan Strome's dog sadly passed away due to complications from a surgery that he had at 3 years old. Just awful. He had his stick taped with his name all over it, and it was pretty sad. But you got to just keep going. You got to keep living. I've lost 3 dogs in my life. It's the worst feeling in the world, but. Prayers to him and his family. Tyler Johnson and Gustafson and Kubalik were in. Doc, Kurashev, and Dahan were out. The Hawks lose 4-3. They go to 25, 39, and 11. They get outshot 34-31. Out hit 28-20. Actually, they don't get out hit. They tie in hits 28-28. And faceoffs for 34-30 in favor of Chicago. On the power play, Chicago goes 0 for 4. Nashville 1 for 2. Lankinen saves 30 of 34. Saro saves 28 out of 31. Early in the first, at 17:50, Lauzon gets hurt. He gets hit into boards by Vlasic. It was a clean hit. His leg just went the absolute wrong way. And it was their only deadline acquisition. They gave up a second-round pick for him, and now who knows if he's going to be even able to play. So one of the worst trades of the deadline in favor, Seattle definitely won that trade. One of the worst trades of the deadline is now is now basically a full win for Seattle. But hope Lauzon is not that hurt and he can come back, because that would really just stink. Jones has a chance stopped, then Tomasino just misses, and then at 16:38 it's a goal to Eeli Tolvanen, his 10th of the season, from Glass and Tomasino to make it 1-0. Then Nashville started chanting their pathetic chant, which, classless as usual. They haven't won a damn thing, yet they still just continue to do it. 12:29 though, Chicago responds with a 2-on-1 goal from Patrick Kane. It was actually 3-on-1. His 25th of the season from Stroman to Brinkett, and then he went up to a fan along the boards and had words with them. I'm not sure if there was something there that happened before the game, but he went right up to a Nashville fan directly and started saying words. And then I wish I could say the Saros chant started, but Nashville wouldn't chant their own goalie. Then at 11:43, it's a Chicago penalty to Entwistle for cross-checking, which would be killed. Preds 2-on-1. Cousins couldn't get it past Stillman with Lankinen down. It was getting scrummy. Refs had 4 awful offsides calls on the Hawks and 1 on the Preds in the first alone. Gustafson then saves a goal. And then at 6:30, there's a Nashville penalty to Duchesne for high sticking, and it's a double minor as Stillman does have blood, and it's all killed off because that's just how it happens. The second part of that power play was absolutely awful. They couldn't get anything even in the zone. There were 3 Preds sat on the puck at the end of the penalty, and the refs didn't do anything. They just let the Preds just sit there. It was like Sissons and maybe Ekholm and one other, and they were just sitting on the puck. They weren't moving, and the Hawks are like, what are we supposed to do about this? They're sitting on the puck, and they're just like, no, keep playing. And so they just sit there until the penalty expires. And yeah, that's enough said. Then 40.7 seconds, Nashville penalty to Duchesne again, this time for interference. It should be killed. He shoved Radish into Saros, so that was a pretty clear penalty. And yeah, we move on to the second period, where Lankinen has a big save on Cousins and Yossi. Yossi is, in my opinion, right now the best defenseman in the league. He was literally everywhere. Everywhere on offense, he was chipping in. Everywhere if he would get back on defense, he was doing absolutely everything, and that's why I think he'll hit 100 points by the end of the season. He did get shanked of a couple points at this game. So in the second, the Hawks started on the power play, but it would be killed. Then at 14:45, it's a no chance for Saros. It's a tap-in goal from Dominic Kubalik, his 13th of the year, from McCabe and Reichel. Reichel gets his first NHL point, so congrats to Lucas Reichel. Good to see him get that point as an assist. It's 1-0. No, it's not 1-0. I don't know why I wrote 1-0. It was 2-1 at that point, I think. I want to say. I think, yeah, 2-1, yeah. I don't know why I had 1-0 written down. So then at 14:27, there's a huge scrum. Kachuk goes flying over Saros. Reese Johnson gets his helmet ripped off. And once it's all sorted out at 14:27, it's a Chicago and Nashville penalty to Entwistle and Ekholm for roughing. So it's 4-on-4. But Boris Kachuk gets a 10-minute misconduct for doing nothing besides being on the ground after getting flown over Saros. Again, I don't know what was going on with the refs this game. Then at 14:02, it's a Nashville goal to Roman Josi, so that's 25 seconds into 4-on-4. His 20th of the year from Forsberg and Johansson to make it 2-2, and it's no chance for Lankinen. Just awful defense on the Hawks side. Then at the 12:56, nearly a little more than a minute later, it's a Nashville goal from Roman Josi again. However, it's a very clear offside. The Hawks challenge for the offside, and it's reviewed. It's absolutely no goal. Lankinen was on standing tall after that. Crowd chanting "Ref, you suck," even though it was a very clear offside. I'm not sure what Nashville fans were even thinking. Then it gets even more scrummy. Then at 4 minutes, it's a Nashville penalty that's served by Tomasino for too many men on the ice. Would be killed. It looked decent. Nashville then pressures. Crowd angry for no penalty when they think Josi was tripped. Josi waves off the crowd saying, "Nah, it really was nothing. Stop doing that." So when even your own captain is saying, "Please hush up," that you know there's an issue. Then Philip Forsberg has a breakaway saved, and then at 48 seconds, it's a Chicago penalty to Regula for high sticking. And the defense is so bad. Lankin is doing all he can. He's flopping around, saving everything that's coming his way. And then at 25.3 seconds, it's a Nashville power play goal from Matt Duchene, number 39 on the year. Nashville has never had a 40-goal scorer in their entire history. They've been great. Announcers are bringing this up. They've had fabulous success with getting goalies. They've had Rene, they have Saros now, and they've had defensemen. They've had Shea Weber, Ryan Suter, Ekholm has been great, Josi, of course. They've always had good defensemen. They've never really had much success drafting forwards. Like Philip Forsberg acquired through trade. Johansson through, I'm pretty sure, was it free agency maybe? Duchene, I think, was free agency. But yeah, and Forsberg's a UFA and he's still not signed for the end of this year, so we'll see how that goes down. So yeah, but Duchene scores 39th of the year from Granlund and Forsberg and makes it 3-2, and then there's a scrum at the end of the period as the game was just all out of control at this point, and just the scrum is breaking out after everything. We go to the third. Regula hit good by Forsberg. Lankinen robs Josi twice. Lafferty has a deflection stopped. Taves has a breakaway saved. Hawks were pressuring. But then at 16:46, it's a Nashville tap-in goal from Mikael Granlund. Just awful defense once again. He was wide open. 10th of the year from Ekholm and Fabro to make it 4-2. Kubalik is denied by Saros. Gustafsson has a great defense on great defensive duty. Stops a 3-on-1. Then at 5:29, it's a Chicago tap-in goal from Riley Stillman and a great play from Kane. It was a great pass. It's his second of the year from Kane to DeBrincat to make it 4-3. The Hawks pulled the goalie exactly 3 minutes later at 2:29. And there's a last-second chance denied, and then a scrum at the end of the game with Fabro and Gustafsson getting his helmet ripped off. But yeah, that's really all for the game. Just not great refereeing. One of my least favorite fan bases in the NHL, and a team that I wish I can like more, but their fan base makes it very hard. Anyway, moving on to the standings. Calgary has clinched a playoff spot, being the first team in the Pacific. I probably should mark which teams all have over 100 points right now, because Calgary just hit that last night. Colorado is now automatically the first seed in the West. They've won the conference. They've won the conference. It's over. Then St. Louis clinched the playoffs last night. Boston clinched the playoffs last night, so the Atlantic has 4 teams in. And then Metropolitan, Carolina, Rangers, and Pittsburgh are all in. So we got 7 teams in the East, 3 in the West. That's 10 teams. You got 6 more to go. And Dallas had a big win last night. Vegas lost, and those are going to be. It's going to be a very close come down to the end of the season. That's a big loss for Vegas. They're getting shut out by Edmonton. Was it at home? I think it was. I don't remember if it was at home or not. But Yeah, this is getting a pretty close playoff race. Nashville, they needed that win. They were in a couple games skid. They got that win that puts them up. If I'm thinking who's going to make the playoffs out of these teams, it's probably going to be Nashville and Dallas getting those wild card spots, unfortunately. I mean, Nashville I want because they're an underdog story this year because no one thought they'd be good. But then all their players bounce back. And then Dallas, they've made me angry too much. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time. I believe there's a game tomorrow, and I don't remember who it's against, but I know they play LA Thursday, and before that, I can't remember. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Happy Easter, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.